Most people don't think they have a story to share. I know that Bobby and I, my wife Bobby, she felt the same way. And I think a lot of people feel the same way. Like, I don't really have a lot to share. I'm just me. But as we got into writing this book, so I was encouraged by a mentor to write a book last year. And I had planned on doing that, but I thought it would be way later in life. But anyways, I decided to write one. And as we started sharing that, I found that people were really intrigued with the story. I'm like, okay, there's something to this. And then when I'd go to places like Nashville or other towns to meet with people that I didn't know me or where I was from, they were just blown away by the story. And they're like, you need to share more of that. You need to tell more of that. And so it kind of gave me confidence that, okay, maybe I do have a story to share. And maybe it is worth sharing and it can influence people. So basically, as we move into the story, it started back in, 2005 or 6. Okay, I'd been working for Wildman Business Group. And in 2006, Bobby and I decided to go on our first missions trip to Honduras with World Compassion Network at WCC. So we were pursuing God, and we wanted to grow, but I would say we also had a foot in the world and a foot in the kingdom. And so we went to Honduras in 2006, and when we did that, it's like the scales fell off of our eyes, and we saw the realities, and we saw how privileged we are, and we saw that we were pretty selfish too, to be honest with you. And so that really began the process of unpacking all of this. And then the next thing that happened, 2007 or so, I got a call from a guy from Nashville. He said, hey, my friend Hunter Smith, who's the Indianapolis Colts punter, he would like to know if you want to play on his band. And I thought, oh, well, that sounds kind of cool. I mean, I'm doing business. I had no plans on leaving the business whatsoever. I was doing the business. But this idea of music was like, it's only in Indianapolis, playing with a Colts football player, like, what could be wrong with this? So I started doing that. Do that for several months. And so I get to the point where I feel like, oh man, I think God is calling me to play with Connorsvine, with Hunter Smith. And Bobby and I wrestled with this because we wrestled with this idea of, oh man, we're going to have to give up what we'd feel security in the business, potential ownership someday. We just built a dream home, and we were going through this process of like dying to like, oh man, if we take this band job, we might have to move, we might have to downsize, we might have to give up all that we've built. So anyways, we go through that process. We actually grieve. I remember we were in our bedroom crying. We were embarrassed that we're crying about selling our house and moving. It had such a grip on us, and we just were disappointed in ourselves. But that's the reality of it. And so I commit to the band. I'm all in. And I tell the band we're all in. And then on the next time I was driving down to Indianapolis for practice, God spoke to me and said, now that I know where your heart is, I want you to stay right where you're at. You see, because it took something like music it's about the only thing that could pull me away from business is if I had an opportunity to do music again someday. And so my heart was totally surrendered over, like, okay, we're doing this. And then as soon as that happened, God said, just stay where you're at. I'm like, okay, I'm not sure what's going to happen. I told the band, guys, sorry, I'm crazy. I mistold you, but I'm not all in. I'm not in. And so a year passes by. We're going through the book Crazy Love by Francis Chan. Has anybody read that book? If you've not read it, please read it. There's a couple chapters in there specifically called The Profile of the Lukewarm. It's going to get you right here. And another one that says, Who Really Lives This Way? And it has examples of people who have given things up to follow Jesus. And then there's another chapter called Serving Leftovers to a Holy God. So when you go through these things, it's like God was really working on us. So we had this Honduras experience. We gave up in our hearts this idea of future prosperity when we thought we had to give up the business to go into the band. Now we have Francis Chan messing with us. And in the back of the book, there's something in there that prompted us to say, we should sell our house just because. See, I'd spent, a couple years designing what I'd say was our dream home. I made it as big as I could possibly make it. And not anything wrong with big homes unless it's got a grip on your heart and it's what you are pursuing. And that indeed we were. And so I called Steve Savage. He's sitting right here. Steve, I feel like God's asking us to sell our house. I don't know if you remember this or not. And so we go through the process. We list the house. And because we felt like we were being obedient to what God had asked us to do. We go out to dinner. I think Steve had a showing. And we were sitting there at dinner, and it's like we had this peace, and we were both like, now that God said, now that I know where your heart is, I want you to stay where you're at. Like we had to actually follow through with the action of, okay, we're doing this, Steve. We need to sell the house. That's what we believe we're supposed to do. And then I call Steve back and go, I guess I was wrong about what I thought we were supposed to do. God said to just stay where we're at. So we stayed where we're at. So then, we had been going through now multiple things that have kind of got us primed and perked going, okay, God is up to something. What in the world is going on? He kind of had this Abraham, Isaac test type thing going on where we had the knife, we were ready to go, and then he'd say, up, stay where you're at. So it comes 2009, March 2nd, 2009. On this very specific morning, God spoke to my wife and I, both separately, but on the same morning. And in my prayer journal, something was different about what I wrote. And God said to me, it's time to dedicate your life to spreading the good news of Christ. That's what I wrote in my journal. But it wasn't just those words. There was something really heavy about that I said, this is something different. What does this mean? And I thought maybe I was supposed to start preaching more or doing more Bible studies at work, at Wildman. A really big deal would have been to quit my job and go work at WCC down the street, our home church. Like that would have been earth-shattering to leave my job and go work at the church. And so I'm like, wonder what God's up to. Bobby gets up early. That same morning, I wake her up and say, hey, just spend some extra time with God. I'm going to stop back by in a few hours. And I came back by the house around 8 in the morning, and I thought when I walked in, she would quote a psalm or something and say, the Lord said that, and just encourage me with something. That's not what I walked into. I walked into her still in her morning robe, which is not normal at 8 o'clock. She had been clearly crying, Kleenex on the counter, like, what's this all about? She said, did God tell you we're supposed to go to Papua New Guinea? I said, no, but this is what he told me this morning. And so in that moment, we both had this powerful moment with God that morning. We said, now what do we do? Are we crazy? Do we just kind of ignore this? Or do we keep going? And so the first thing we did is we called New Tribes Mission because we knew that some missionaries were serving over there, Todd and Karen Gerst. And so we just said, hey, we need somebody to pray for us because we think we're losing our mind and we're supposed to go to Papua New Guinea. So they prayed, and then we called Jack and Alice and Rod and Nancy Wildman. It was too big of a deal to share with our immediate family just yet. We had to unpack, are we actually going nuts or not? Because we really thought we might be. So long story short, here we are. We're now in the process, and we're committed to going to Papua New Guinea. And we were commissioned in the church in January of 2010, and we thought we were leaving in 2 weeks. And from that point forward, every day for 6 months, I thought we were 2 weeks away from leaving because we were just waiting on my work permit. Bobby's had come in, the kids' visas had come in, but my work permit was held up. And so we get commissioned at the church, and I tell the church, any minute now, and then we'll be buying our plane tickets, and we'll be gone. January, February, March, April, May, June, and I'm tripping out. And so this crucible moment is when I wrote most of these songs. Okay, so as we go through the evening, I'm going to share just a few minutes before each one because there's some learnings that I got out of this humbling time that was very, very challenging. So as we sing the songs, I'm going to share what's in between those and kind of continue that storyline through. Because it was really difficult. And so I would say we had a foot in the world and the foot in the kingdom. And the first song that we're going to sing is called Wide Open Door, and it's about feeling like you're trapped between two worlds, and we're trying to live them both. And so we went through this process, and we made a new oath to God that we were all in and going to follow. So we began to work in us many years ago. Brought us preparation, he was knocking on our door. And when we opened it, his light shined through on the floor. We were searching and seeking and looking for something more. As we opened up the door, he began to show us more. One thing at a time, he stripped us to our core. He revealed to us true life, ooh, and our passion grew more. Oh, Here we are, Lord, now it's a wide open door. And trapped between two worlds and trying to live them both. We cannot have two masters, so we made a new oath to live our lives for you in obedience to truth. We'll follow where you lead us and leave it all for you. Show us your plan. You said there's no one like you and your purpose will stand. You showed us that you will for us in some far off land. Ooh, yeah. We will go, Lord, we trust that you'll hold us in your hand. Ooh, yeah. Trapped between two worlds and trying to live them both. We cannot have two masters, so we made a new oath to live our lives for you in obedience and truth. We'll follow where you lead us and leave it all for you. Our purpose in our life in you, it doesn't stop there. Ooh, it's here with you now where our praise becomes our breath. Ooh, our purpose in our life in you, it doesn't stop there. Ooh, it's here with you now where our praise becomes our breath. Ooh, yeah. Trapped between two worlds and trying to live them both. We cannot have two masters, so we made a new oath to live our lives for you in obedience and truth. We'll follow where you lead us and leave it all for you. So in 2010, January of 2010, I worked my last day at Wildman in preparation to leave in February. And as I said, the work permit was held up and it didn't come, and we kept waiting for that email to show up every morning, waking up thinking it's going to be in the inbox, and it didn't come. And it was extremely difficult. You know, we were living in Brent and Karen's house, so we'd sold everything off, moved into Brent and Karen's house. They go off to Hawaii like they do for 3 months and host the marriage retreats and do all the things they do there, fully expecting, like, that was the goodbye. April, they come back from Hawaii. Hey guys, we're still there living with them in their house. So it was difficult. So every morning for 6 months, I'd wake up expecting that. And I had to learn to just let go. And I wanted to control everything, and I couldn't. And it was the first time in my life that I really had zero control. And we sat in this holding pattern for 6 months. And it was incredibly difficult, but I had to learn to just let go. And so the next song, does anybody think about what it might be called? Just Let Go? Is that what you said, Michael? Yes, it's called Just Let Go. And so this song is kind of a dialogue between God and myself about just my perspective, and then kind of him answering me and, you know, saying, okay, but you were given this life. What are you going to do with it? You know, are you running after the prize, or are you just chasing after the wind? Like, just let go and try it my way, and it's going to be a lot better. So that's this song coming up. Just let go. I wonder what it would be like to just let go of trying to hold on to what we think we know. All the strain, all the pain of trying to do it our way. Just open your hands, loosen your grip, and give it away. Open your heart and open your eyes, and show you things that you never realized. Lay it all down, pick up your crown. Don't run aimlessly and strive wastefully. You were given this life, what are you gonna do with it? Are you running to get the prize, or are you chasing the wind? We say we believe it, we believe in what is our only motivation to make the cut. And we take what we want and we live happily, but inside we can't hide that we're bound and not free. Live what you claim, you won't feel the same. True joy only comes from His name, yeah. Lay it all down, pick up your crown. Don't run aimlessly and strive wastefully. You were given this life, what are you gonna do with it? Are you running to get the prize, or are you chasing the wind? Just let go and surrender yourself. Just let go and you will find life. Just let go and surrender yourself, and this is where you will find life. Lay it all down, pick up your crown. Don't run aimlessly and strive wastefully. You were given this life, what are you gonna do with it? Are you running to get the prize, or are you chasing the wind? You were given this life, what are you gonna do with it? What are you gonna do with it? What are you gonna do with it? So we continued to wrestle, and day after day, week after week, month after month, still waiting and waiting and waiting. And like I said, we'd listed our house 6 months earlier, and it had not been selling. It was not selling. I think we had one offer on it, if I remember. That was a contingency offer that was back in October, but then we had no activity for the rest of the time. And so, man, was I starting to get in my own head. So here I am, living in my in-laws, sold all of our stuff, quit my job, commissioned to go, house isn't selling, no work permit, people kind of going, you sure you heard God right? I mean, I did want to punch a few people. I'm like, ah. And then someone would say, are you taking your kids with you? No, we're gonna leave them with the dog, with Brent and Karen. So I had all this stuff going on in my head, like talking to myself, and am I going crazy? Like, because you just expect, and this is where the humbling came in, like, oh, we're doing this for God. Aren't we so amazing and special? We're sacrificing all of this. Least He could do is sell our house. Least He could do is make these things work out for us. It didn't work that way. And it was a very humbling lesson. So the next song's called You're There. And it's this idea that, I'm trying to hear from God. There's all these voices going in my head. But the great news is that when I'm up, He's there. When I'm down in the depths of despair and kind of like, what's going on? He's there too. And so it's this idea that no matter where I'm at, He hasn't changed. He hasn't moved. He's there. I hear you call out, I hear you call out.
What you gonna say? What you gonna say? All of these voices in my head telling me to do this instead. What should I do? What am I gonna do? And dig deep into the hope within. The light inside makes things bright again. When I'm up, you're there. When I'm down, you're there. When my head is spinning round, you there. When I'm up, you're there. When I'm down, you're there. When my head is spinning round, you there. I hear you call out, I hear you call out. What you gonna say? What you gonna say? All of these voices in my head telling me to do this instead. What should I do? What am I gonna do? I dig deep into the hope within. The light inside makes things bright again. When I'm up, you're there. When I'm down, you're there. When my head is spinning round, you there. When I'm up, you're there. When I'm down, you're there. When my head is spinning round, you there.
So here's where the story gets pretty cool. So we've been waiting. I've been trying to just let go and listen to my own encouragements from the Lord and try to live it out. And Steve, you'll remember this. It was on Good Friday that this happened. So a few days before that, I had finally surrendered and finally let go. This whole house situation had been driving me crazy for 7 months. House had not sold. And I'm just like, what is going on? And I remember, I don't know if you guys have had those moments where you think you've let go, but you really haven't. And then you have this breakthrough moment where you're like, okay, I've fully surrendered. And it became evident because on Good Friday, after 7 months of no activity, we got 3 offers on Good Friday. You know, just after we'd finally surrendered. And he'd held out on us for a reason, because we needed a good old-fashioned humbling. And I expected him to show up with a wad of cash when I listed the house back in October, 7 months before, because we were being these great missionaries. And nobody knocked on the door. Nobody brought a sack of cash. It didn't happen that way. And man, it was difficult. So once I finally surrendered and let go, we got 3 offers on Good Friday, accepted one above asking price on Sunday. The purchase agreement is in place. Am I recalling that, Steve? You remember that? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Steve's been along on this journey, so I'm glad you were able to come. You saw some of this stuff happen. So this next song is called You Are Everything That's Good. And so the verses are really this idea of like, man, we're looking for his goodness, but we're looking for it through the wrong lens, and we look through the world's lens. And really, if we could just understand that his ways are higher than our ways, his thoughts are higher than our thoughts, and not get so bent out of shape and trusting him to work things out for his purposes. So the song is called You Are Everything That's Good.
There are things in this life that don't make sense, and the wonder in our minds is so immense. Our desire for God's goodness is so intense, but we're looking for it through the world's lens. One who brings good, his ways are not our ways. The one who brings life, his thoughts are not our thoughts. The one who shows mercy brings a new every day. And you are everything that's good. Things in this world we don't understand, and we look up to the sky and clench our hands. We ask why, question its purpose and its plan. But who created who, and whose purpose will stand? His ways are not our ways. The one who brings life, his thoughts are not our thoughts. The one who shows mercy brings a new every day. You are everything that's good. But isn't this what faith is? Believing in the unseen. Isn't this what faith is? Believing in the unseen. The one who brings good, his ways are not our way. The one who brings life, his thoughts are not our thoughts. The one who shows mercy brings a new every day. You are everything that's good. Oh, you are everything that's good. Oh, you are everything that's good.
Malachi said I had to play this guitar, so I'm whipping it out. So after we had kind of gone through this process of letting go and burning our ships and not looking back, and really coming to the place that God's good and he's got a plan here, and after going through the whole house situation and finally seeing the house selling and the whole miracle of happening on Good Friday was pretty amazing. And so then we were learning to rest. And in our waiting, we were learning to rest because we still weren't done waiting. House sold, which was great encouragement, but I still didn't have my work permit. April went by, May went by, June went by. Finally came in June. So during that time, we were still learning to wait. And through the waiting, we had to learn how to rest. So for me, who was a business guy and a type A achiever guy, like I was used to producing and making things happen, and like I could control it and do all the things I needed to move it forward. Not this time. I had to learn how to wait, and it felt very unproductive, but it was probably the most productive time possibly in my whole life, because I was in this crucible of waiting, and I wanted to get out, and I couldn't. So this song is called Now I Rest in You.
Striving, praying, trying to make this move along. Done all that I can do, now I have to wait on you. I'm used to producing, making it happen, but now I'm not that strong. I'm sitting and waiting and trying to learn how to rest in you. So I wait on you. So I wait on you. Now I rest in you. Now I rest in you. Sometimes sitting and waiting is the hardest thing to do. Seems like we're in a position to make this thing go through. There must be a reason, or maybe a season that we have to endure through. It must be part of the journey, part of the learning, to find the strength in you. So I wait on you. So I wait on you. Now I rest in you. Now I rest in you.
All right, so a few more here. So here we are in the story, learning how to rest, and the culmination here of all of this kind of ends up in this song called Every Moment. And as we were getting ready to go, this idea that the 6-month season of waiting, getting ready to go to be missionaries in Papua New Guinea, it really came down to this idea of it's just being in the moment with Jesus, with God. After all that we'd been through and not having the control of anything that was going on, it came down to living in the moment with Jesus. Even though it was agonizing, we were no longer in the crucible. We had kind of come out. And so this song is called Every Moment. And it's a reflection of our joy is not found in the worldly pursuits. It's not found in selfish desires. It's only found in being in his presence and pursuing Jesus. That's where true joy is found. That is where we find it. But we often get caught pursuing things to find fulfillment in other places. Everybody does. It's our human nature. But there's something better. And if we can learn to just be in his presence and be in his moment, be in his presence in every moment, it will change us. So this song's called Every Moment, and it's reflection on kind of the journey of what it's not, and then the chorus is really what it is.
I finally found a place where I can truly rest. It's not a place that you would expect. It's not living comfortably and having what's best, or having everything in order in a big treasure chest. I found that moving down is moving up. Becoming less is becoming more. Ooh, yeah. Feeling weak is feeling stronger. Ooh, this is the place where we belong. It's living every moment with you. It's living with my eyes fixed on you. Truth. I'm dying to myself to follow you. It's not from working up a corporate climb or being highly efficient and maximizing my time. It's not a place in life high above the rest. I feel strong and smart and tough up my chest. Yeah, I found that moving down is moving up. Becoming less is becoming more. Feeling weak is feeling stronger. Ooh, this is the place where we belong. It's living every moment with you. It's living with my eyes fixed on you. Yeah, I'm giving everything for truth. Dying to myself to follow you. Just give it up and let it go. This is the only way to know. Just give it up and let it go. This is the only way to know. Myself to follow you. I'm dying to myself to follow you. I'm dying to myself to follow you. Yeah.
July of 2010, we arrive in Papua New Guinea, 3 days after our 10-year wedding anniversary. We'd never been there before. I didn't even know where it was at on the map when we first were starting to talk about it. Some of you have been there before. It is a wild place. And here I am with my family, showing up, the provider of my family, and I'm coming up into this place that is definitely different than any place I'd ever been to before. Kind of was freaking out a little bit when we arrived in Goroka. Some of you who've been in Goroka know what it's like when you get off the plane, really small airport, and all the nationals are standing on the fence. You know, they're just like looking through the fence, staring at you and peering at you, and you got to walk through the crowds, and they're so tight and compressed on you, and you're coming through, and they notice that you're white, and they might want to try to pickpocket you or whatever, but it is tight and it's uncomfortable. And so here we are, we're there, and it was really difficult. We move into a house temporarily, and then while we're there, we really start getting comfortable and kind of like, okay, we're a long ways away from home. Did we really do this? We're here now, so I guess we're here. And it became quite challenging. But over time, it became one of the most joyful things that we had ever experienced. It wasn't long that we were there that we're like, oh my gosh, the peace of God, it transcends everything. And we felt so good and so comfortable being in his presence, even though there was challenges all around us, just bad stuff that happens all around over there. But yet, in the middle of that, we had so much peace. So this next song is called Closer Than Before. And it's what it says, both in our relationship to God and relationship to each other as a husband and a wife. So we were closer than before, even though we missed our family, we missed our friends, we were in that tough circumstance. We were closer than before, closer to God, and we were closer to each other. So that's the song.
Things to think about, all the memories of my old friends, the possibilities of chasing dreams. Oh, the pain of being away, oh, the pain of being away. Living here with you far away, but closer than before. Distance I hate, but your love is great. My mind is straight. Living here with you, I don't hesitate. Living here with you, I don't hesitate. Every time I think of my hometown, there's something inside of me that brings me down. But only part of me feels this way, 'cause the joy that you bring each day, oh, the joy that you bring each day. Living here with you far away, but closer than before. The distance I hate, but your love is great. My mind is straight. I'm living here with you, I don't hesitate. Living here with you, I don't hesitate. No matter where we go from here, I won't fear, 'cause your presence always near. 1, 2, 3. I'm living here with you far away, but closer than before. The distance I hate, but your love is great. My mind is straight. Living here with you, I don't hesitate. Living here with you, I don't hesitate. Living here with you, I don't hesitate.
Right. me and my brother and a couple Germans took a journey down to the coast. It was a 7-hour trek. There was only one road that went from Goroka down to the coast. One highway, and that was it. And it was a rough highway. It wasn't actually that many miles, but it still took 7 hours. It was really bumpy. So we head down there, and we get down to the coast. We get a water taxi to take us out a couple miles to an island called Pig Island. And there we were going to do some amazing snorkeling. And actually the guy from our village, he'd never even been to the ocean, let alone snorkeled. So we thought it'd be fun to take him down there. And when the water taxi left us, our only hope was that he was going to turn around and come back at the appointed time. And if you guys have been in third world countries, you know that appointed times are very, very flexible and subject to one's own interpretation. So we were really concerned about, is this guy going to come back and win? Well, we hadn't paid him yet, so we trusted he was going to come back. So the water taxi takes off. We start snorkeling, and it was really the most amazing stuff I had ever seen, because not too many tourists go to Pig Island off of the coast of Papua New Guinea. Do you guys know of anybody else? Can't count many. No, nobody does that, right? And so it's completely untouched. And it was the most bursting, colorful coral reef I had ever seen in my life. And so what it made me think of was God's creation. As I'm snorkeling face down and looking at all this beautiful stuff, it just reminds me of God's creation. So when I got back up to our home in Goroka, I wrote this song just kind of reflecting on it, and it's called I See in the Sea, and reminding me of God's beautiful creation, but then also when the new heaven and the new earth come. If we experience this beauty here on earth that God's given us, how much more amazing is the new heavens and new earth going to be in the future? So one day we will see that. So we're going to give this a shot.
Boat floats with the motion, the water's so blue. The beautiful ocean makes me think of you. Heading to an island to explore the deep blue sea. The coral reef and the jellyfish, there's so much to see. As I float through the ocean, I see in the sea all the Creator's creation. Oh, my smile won't leave me. A little slice of paradise out here in the sea reminds me of what will be, Lord, someday I will see. I drift along with the ocean like there is no gravity. The ocean's emotion, it's sublime divinity. The ocean floor becomes the shore, white sand beneath my feet. I find a place to sit and rest under a coconut tree. As I float through the ocean, I see in the sea all the Creator's creation. Oh, my smile won't leave me. A little slice of paradise out here in the sea reminds me of what will be, Lord, someday I'll see. Me sighing like in salt water, yeah, me good blood along me. Me ama mas lo stop long na ambicia. Me sabe stop easy. As I float through the ocean, I see in the sea all the Creator's creation. Oh, my smile won't leave me. A little slice of paradise out here in the sea reminds me of what will be, Lord, someday I'll see. Reminds me of what will be, Lord, someday I'll see.
All right, 2 more to go. We're going to have some fun here on these last. So this song is called You by My Side. This is actually one of the first songs I wrote in Papua New Guinea. We'd been there a couple weeks, and it was this idea of you by my side. Like, we could go anywhere and do anything if we had each other by each other's side and God by our side. That's just kind of where we ended up. Like, we've been through a lot. We've done a lot of transition. We don't have a lot of material stuff anymore. Like, we're able to go wherever we can go. And when we have each other by our sides, like, that's all we really need. So we can go anywhere in the world if we've got Jesus in each other. And so that's the song called You by My Side.
Your mercy, I wait on your peace, I wait on your love, oh, to cover me. My heart longs for you, oh, won't you come and set me free? I call on your name, and you deliver me, oh, you deliver me. I don't know how I'd survive here without you by my side, holding me in your arms. You are the place I can hide. Oh, I can hide. Longs for you, oh, won't you come and set me free? I call on your name, you deliver me, oh, you deliver me. I don't know how I survive here without you by my side, holding me in your arms. You are the place I can hide. Oh, I can hide, yeah, yeah. The Lord's unfailing love surrounds the man who puts his trust in Him. The Lord's unfailing love surrounds the man who puts his trust in Him. I don't know how I'd survive here without you by my side, holding me in your arms. You are the place I can hide. Oh, I can hide, yeah, yeah.
right, now I feel like we're getting somewhere. We got ourselves a concert here, folks. Okay, we're on this last song. Thanks for sticking with us. Okay, this last song is called South Pacific Harmony. So really it's kind of the culmination of our time in Papua New Guinea, and it's as it says, we were living in harmony in the South Pacific between us as a family and with God, and even though it was difficult and there's all kinds of stuff going on around us that was very challenging, and to be away from family and to give all that up, you know, we had such peace and we were living in harmony. So this song's called South Pacific Harmony, and it's a great way to end the night because it's upbeat and it's a lot of fun, and hopefully it's an encouragement to you guys to know that even when there's hard stuff, even when you go through the crucible, when you come out of it, there's just more harmony and things are better. Things are better even when it's been hard, and so we can trust God and his faithfulness to do that when we follow him. And so this song's called South Pacific Harmony.
Painted skies fill my eyes, the mountainside, the ocean tide, the morning haze consumes my gaze until the sun chases it away. Everything about this place amazes me, and living here so far away, it feels like a mystery. Living with you next to me, in the mountains, on an island, in the sea. Living with you next to me, in South Pacific harmony, in South Pacific harmony. The sun's rays upon my face, the evening rain takes the heat away, painting of the nighttime sky with constellations in the Milky Way. Everything about this place amazes me, and living here so far away, it feels like a mystery. Living with you next to me, in the mountains, on an island, in the sea. Living with you next to me, in South Pacific harmony, in South Pacific harmony.
you very much. And let's have an encore, shall we? You got to clap really loud. Come on, because we're going to have Zori Farley do our encore. And she is going to put me to shame, and in my spot right now, this is the moment you guys came for. No pressure. Zori, her voice is beautiful. This is going to be awesome.
I don't know if I'll put me to shame, but I will try.
Yes, awesome. And we are all going to get out of the way of this one.
Okay, so full disclosure, I didn't really know I was doing this till when you guys were all here, so we'll just see what happens. A little bit of backstory. This is a newer song that I wrote, and it was my first ever worship song that I wrote. And I wrote it because I went to Bible school in Kauai this past year, and sort of my prayer when I first got there was just that my heart would rest in God, because I wasn't really doing that. And I sort of prayed this quote from St. Augustine that's, my heart is restless until it rests in you, for a couple months, and just prayed that over and over and over again, and sort of made that my theme prayer for Bible school, because I just wanted my heart and my satisfaction to come from God instead of from the world. And then a couple months till the end, my worship mentor challenged me, and he was in 1 week, I want you to have a song for me ready to record. Go ahead and go do with that what you will. So since my sort of power prayer was that my heart would rest in God, I did some digging in the scripture, and I sort of did some meditating on Psalm 107, because it talks about your heart resting in God. And yeah, I just tried to write a song about it. So I've never performed this. I've actually never played it all the way through before, so I don't really know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna wing some of it, and we're just gonna see what happens, but yeah, enjoy.
Lord, satisfy my longing soul. Let me no longer sit in this darkness all alone. And Lord, deliver me from distress and let me rest. Let me rest in you, 'cause I'm restless without you. I'm caught up in distress, in the shadow of death's darkness, just searching for your breath. And I'm foolish in sin, yeah, I'm here once again. But I cried to you in trouble, would you reveal your breath? So Lord, satisfy my longing soul. Let me no longer sit in this darkness all alone. And Lord, deliver me from distress and let me rest. Let me rest in you. We wandered the desert, we found no city to dwell in. We're hungry and we're thirsty, just searching for your breath. You shatter the doors of bronze, you cut the iron bars in two. Oh, if we rest in you, so Lord, satisfy my longing soul. Let me no longer sit in this darkness all alone. And Lord, deliver me from distress and let me rest. Lord, satisfy me, be the longing in my heart. Lord, I testify, I only want you alone. Lord, your steadfast love endures forever. You are good. Lord, we worship you from east to west, from north to south. And Lord, satisfy my longing soul. Let me no longer sit in this darkness all alone. And Lord, deliver me from distress and let me rest. Let me rest in you. Let me rest. Let me rest in you.
Thank you.
That made it worth it, right? How awesome is that? Amazing, amazing voice. So here's what I want you guys to walk away with tonight is that everybody's got a story, and it's our testimony. Jesus, before he ascended into heaven, he says, you'll be my witnesses in your community, in your county, in your region, and to the ends of the earth. And you'll do that by sharing your testimony about the work he's done in your life. So that's how we spread the good news. As we share our story, we talk about how God's worked in our lives, and hopefully it inspires others because they see the life change. They see the light that's in our life. And here's the thing. Some people, they get confused on what is it that I should be doing, and they focus on the what, when really they need to focus on with and on following Jesus. And so when we left to go over to Papua New Guinea, there was something that seemed more spiritual about that, and like we were doing something that was more spiritual than if we stayed. So then a few years later, when God called us back into America, into the marketplace, I was faced with the question, well, is it less spiritual that I'm coming back into the marketplace? And so I had a humbling occur. I was off my rocker when we went, right? And I had a humbling that occurred to me. It says, no. It's not actually about what you're doing. If you follow me, I'll take care of showing you the what. Just keep your eyes fixed on me. Just follow Jesus, and I will take care of showing you the what and the where and the how. But here's the deal. That means that nothing is off the table. Nothing's off the table. So what are we holding on to that we need to let go of? Because if we're trying to control part of our life and do part of Jesus' life, that's a tension that's really difficult to live in, and it's not very fruitful. And I've been there. And sometimes I go back into that. And so how do we let go of those things and say, okay, I'm following Jesus, and I'm going to trust him to show me what, where, and when, and how, and just pursue him so I don't get paralyzed by trying to figure out this next big call or the next big thing that I'm supposed to do. Because right now, the next moment, you know that you can follow Jesus. Next moment, right from here. And tomorrow morning, you can wake up and you can do the same thing. And we know that eventually, if you're staying connected to the vine, he's going to show you how to produce the fruit and where and when. So hopefully you take that away from it. Because we've been on both sides of it now. We know what it's like to be missionary. We know what it's like to be in America. And we had to learn and be humbled by the fact that if we just focus on him, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what we do. And we are comfortable now, and that makes my wife and I nervous because we have a comfortable home. And we've got a pool. We're just comfortable. And that scares us because we don't want to get too comfortable to where we can't let go. Because if we get comfortable for too long, our hands start going like this, right? Which is why in a week from today, we're going back to Honduras again. Because we need to have the scales removed again. We need to look at the ships that we've been building and say, which ones do we need to burn again? Because we've gotten comfortable. And so we just want to be in that, like having things and beautiful homes and all that is absolutely not a problem. Like I said before, the problem is if we're pursuing those and we get comfortable and we start closing our hands. But if we have those things and our hands are open, then we're a steward. We're a steward of what God's given us. So anyways, I hope tonight was enjoyable for you. I'm so thankful you came. I don't know what it sounded like from out there on your side, but hopefully it was worthy of your time. And I'm just thankful that you were able to share this opportunity with us and enjoy this beautiful venue. And then a huge thanks to Dream On Studios and the work they're going to do with this video. I can't wait to see it, and I can't wait to see hopefully smiling faces. And again, we're probably going to have to put some of these in there since we didn't get any claps, but I guess we should have told you to clap. I don't know, am I supposed to or not? I guess when you're sitting and listening to a story on a front porch, like if I'm listening to Tommy and we're talking, he's telling me a story, when he's done, I don't go, good story. Okay, now my turn, So I guess it's fine you didn't clap. But anyways, let me pray for us, and we'll send you on your way. Lord, thank you for the opportunity to share this evening with all these wonderful people, Lord, that chose to take their time to come hear our story and hear the songs, and hopefully to be inspired in some way or challenged in some way or to think about things differently in some way, that we would just all be compelled to be one step closer to you. But Lord, if our eyes have started to drift to the left or to the right of you, Lord, that you'd bring them back to the center. Lord, and that you are the center of all that we do. And Lord, I just pray for safety and I pray for peace as people go on their ways, Lord. Thank you for all that you do for us. Amen. Thank you, guys.